Morning. Well, and some of you are actually going to be watching this as a recording. So hello, welcome to 2021 Manufacturing Day event here in Buncombe County in North Carolina. My name is April Brown and I work in economic development here in Buncombe County. But what does that really mean? Well, I work to think about the future of this region and ensure that we have lots of different jobs available for people like you and your parents to thrive in Asheville. Some of the best jobs in our region are in the manufacturing industry, which is why we're here today. Many residents in our region don't know that the job opportunities exist. And if they don't know about them, then they don't know that there's these quality opportunities available. So today we are going to hear from 7 local manufacturing employers and one of our local manufacturing training centers to tell you what they make and why you might consider these opportunities as you're looking for jobs after high school. I would also encourage you to think about your parents. Some families, parents have a lot of influence. If this is something that you're interested in, please share this video so that they can gain more exposure to these opportunities as well. I also want to say thank you to our sponsors. This wouldn't be possible without you. Home Trust Bank, Insurance Services of Asheville, Pardee, UNC Healthcare, and Kudzu Brands. Before I turn it over to our presenters, I wanted to start with some stats about manufacturing in Western North Carolina. In the Asheville metro region, the manufacturing industry has an average wage of over $55,000 a year. Also, the Asheville metro region is seen as having a competitive advantage because of the number of people working in this industry. Currently, there's about 13% of our employed population who are working in manufacturing. That is about third to healthcare and hospitality. So it's a viable employment industry. Additionally, jobs in manufacturing are in high demand, which means that these jobs are not going away. Even though you hear about automation and jobs disappearing or not being in demand anymore, manufacturing, even as some of those jobs are being automated with robots and computers, more high skill and technical jobs are being added and continuing to be added to the industry. Over the next decade, manufacturers across the country are looking to fill over 4.5 million high skill, high tech, and high paying jobs. Next slide. So like I said, we have 8 presenters today, 7 local manufacturing employers in one of our local manufacturing training centers at AvL Tech. Each presenter has prepared a fast-paced and compelling slideshow, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. First, I'd like to welcome Ty Copper of Insurance Services of Asheville to introduce our first speaker.
Thank you, April. Our first presenter today is Eaton Corporation. Joining us this morning from Eaton are John Russler, plant manager of the Asheville site, and Aaron Bowers, human resources manager at Eaton's Arden plant. Please welcome John and Aaron.
Thanks, Ty, and it's an absolute honor to be the first presenter here in the Manufacturing Day presentation. We're going to tell you a little bit about Eaton Corporation, tell you what we are as a company, tell you a little bit about the products that we manufacture, and some of the great careers that we have here at Eaton Corporation. As Ty said, my name is John Russler. I'm the plant manager of our plant here in Asheville, right off of Haywood Road. Been with Eaton for 16 years and absolutely love the company. Proud graduate of Miami University in Ohio with an MBA from Lenoir-Rhyne.
Hello, my name is Aaron Bowers. I am the HR manager for our Asheville manufacturing plants. So after actually finishing my bachelor's and master's degrees, both at West Virginia University, I joined Eaton's Human Resources Leadership Development Program and have progressed my career throughout Eaton in a variety of HR roles over the last almost 8 years. So if we head to the next slide, everything we experience in our modern world is made possible by power. Planes, hospitals, factories, data centers, vehicles. Every day, all around the world, we're depending on technology, transportation, energy, and infrastructure to live, work, and thrive in our communities. And it's companies that produce power that use Eaton products to actually solve some of the toughest electrical and mechanical, power management challenges on the planet. Because we never lose sight of what matters, and it's our job to make sure that what matters works. So if we head to the next slide, Eaton is a global manufacturing company. We operate in 175 countries, and we have 2 sectors within our business, our electrical and our industrial sectors. We have 92,000 employees around the world. And within those sectors, John and I actually report through our electrical sector, which provides comprehensive solutions for power generation to end use. We have our aerospace, filtration, and vehicle groups all within that industrial sector, really focused on driving power management solutions for those industries. Again, our business here in the Asheville area is within that Electrical Americas team for Eaton. And again, if we head to the next slide, as I mentioned, being a global company, we serve many markets around the world, and our employees' skills and their ideas are a reflection of them. We strive to help our communities in which we work and operate to become vibrant places to live and work. Within the North Carolina area, we actually have 16 locations and approximately 3,420 employees that are within the state. Here within the Asheville, Buncombe County and surrounding areas, we're approaching about 1,500 employees within the local region.
Okay, let's get in.
John, I'll turn it back over to you to talk about some of our
let's
products.
get into the products here. So let's start with our aerospace business. Aerospace is all about ensuring aircraft availability while managing operational costs and regulations. We don't make the planes, we just make the planes fly more efficiently and more reliably. If you go from the air to the ground, it's all about vehicles. So whether it's powering the most advanced Audi car, or whether it's powering Caterpillar or John Deere agricultural equipment, or whether it's working to make electrification of vehicles and smart vehicles possible, Eaton's right in the middle of all of it. Then we flip over to power infrastructure, and while powering airplanes and cars is pretty cool, I think what's wickedly awesome is powering the world with electrical distribution and control products. So it all starts with utilities and power generation. That's where it starts. Then if we go to the next slide, it starts not only with generation, but Aaron mentioned sustainability. We work with GE Renewable Energy, we work with SMA and companies all across the globe to make renewable energy like wind turbines and like solar fields a reality. Then we get down to the actual user. We start with water treatment. Might not be the most popular or cleanest thing that you think about, but it still needs power, and it still needs infrastructure. All right, and Eaton's right in the middle of the water and wastewater infrastructure across the world. Then think about oil and gas. Oil and gas is all about making the industry safer. All right, we're all about making the extraction and the delivery of oil and gas, which is a much needed fuel for our country, safer and more reliable in nature. Then whether it's sending out a tweet on Twitter, whether it's buying something on Amazon, or whether it's posting something on Facebook or Instagram, Eaton is behind the electrical infrastructure for the vast majority of data centers around the country and around the world, making all of that possible for the youth of America as well as the senior of America. All right, then every building that you walk into has a power infrastructure, whether you know it or not. Every time you turn on the light switch, every time you plug something in, there's power distribution behind that, and Eaton stands behind that power distribution, providing reliable power to the buildings across America, whether it's the Pentagon or the Sierra Nevada Brewing right here in Asheville, North Carolina. And then finally, you walk in your house, you plug in your device at the end of your day, and whether you know it or not, there's a power infrastructure behind the home that you live in, and that power infrastructure is often powered by Eaton, both from a renewable energy standpoint, whether it's a power pack, a vehicle charger, or just the standard load center and device that you're plugging into. Eaton's behind all that with great customers that support our business. All right, so Aaron, I think, do we have some additional slides?
Yep, so back onto here in the North Carolina area, I know we had mentioned as well, we do have 16 locations throughout the state. We're actually, again, very focused on that community involvement. So we've actually provided charitable contributions to the local state as well as different surrounding areas as well over the last 40, 50 years here in this area. If we progress to the next slide, we can talk through some of the diverse career opportunities that we do have at Eaton. One of our aspirational goals is to make work exciting, engaging, and meaningful for our employees. A career at Eaton isn't just another job. We provide an environment where our teams can grow and learn. We have many diverse career paths that you can see on the screen. And we also have many jobs that are available today that do not require previous work experience. Our basic qualifications are to be 18 years old and have a high school diploma or GED. We do have competitive starting wages and benefits that begin the first day of employment. So as we're continuing to develop and invest in our employees, we actually have educational assistance programs available as well. So if you are not interested in immediate employment and you're headed off to college here in the next couple of months, if you progress to the next slide, we do also have internship programs throughout the summer, as well as a variety of leadership development programs available throughout the country. These programs offer valuable hands-on experiences, career development, guidance, and mentorship, exposure to senior leaders, a learning curriculum to help you succeed, opportunities to build your business acumen, as well as a chance to start building your career at Eaton. And John, I'll flip it back to you.
Yeah, so today we've told you what we do, we've told you how we do it, and Aaron's told you a little bit about the great people that we have standing behind our products and services. So I believe our legacy and our success really revolves around evolving to meet the ever-changing needs of our world. In order to continue that legacy, we need great people who are flexible, they're change agents, and they're committed to making the world a better place. So thank you so much for the opportunity to present to you, and we look forward to hearing from all of you.
Thank you, John and Aaron from Eaton Corporation. Now I'd like to introduce Ian Graham and Jesus Chavez from GE Aviation.
All right, good morning, everybody. This is Ian Graham with GE Aviation. I am the site HR leader. So a little bit about me, and then I'll turn over to Jesus, who's a process engineer, to talk about himself as well. So I actually went to school here locally at UNC Asheville. I had the opportunity to play baseball there. Upon graduating, I worked in Major League Sports, Major League Baseball, for about 6 years. And then I had the opportunity to come back home to Asheville to work for GE Aviation as the HR leader. So with that, Jesus, I'll kick it over to you.
Sure. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having us here. So my name is Jesus Chavez. I'm a process engineer in the GE Aviation CMC site. So I've been with the company around 5 years. My career started in Texas, and that's where I got my bachelor's in mechanical engineering and my MBA degree there, and then eventually I made my way up all the way here to the nice Asheville area. And so right now I've been mostly in the manufacturing side of things, working on the composite sides of the business.
All right, so we're going to give you a little bit of background about GE Aviation as a whole, and then we'll talk at a more granular level about the Asheville campus. And then I will turn it back over to Jesus, who will take you through some of our different products and give you just a high-level taste of the technology and the science that goes into our products that we produce here in Asheville. So just beginning with some statistics that I was not aware of prior to working for GE, but we do have the market share for both commercial and military engines. So just a couple of examples of that. So currently, GE Aviation technology engines are powering about 36,000 airplanes, which is pretty astounding. So when you think about that, every 2 seconds, an aircraft with a GE engine is taking off, which means that over 300,000 people are in the air right now as we speak, depending on the engines and the engine components that we produce in the Asheville area. So as we take a look at the military fleet, we're currently powering 27,000 engines. So when you consider the different aircraft that are used by our U.S. military, that would include fighter pilots, fighter jets, helicopters, as well as gas turbine Navy vessels. Pretty impressive stuff. So to give you just an overview of the workforce and the campus here in Asheville. So we are located off of Sweeten Creek. Our address is 502 Sweeten Creek Industrial Park, and we have a campus. So we have 2 buildings. We have a rotating parts building that primarily produces stainless steel rotating parts that go in the engines. And then Jesus and I actually work in the ceramic matrix composite shop that's down the hill. So that shop opened in November of 2014, and then the rotating parts building opened in 2007 when GE purchased that particular building. So between the two shops, we plan on hiring over the next 2 years approximately 500 employees. So that's going to be a mix of degreed engineer positions as well as hourly technician roles. So the hourly technician role in particular, which is where we see the bulk of our recent high school graduate hiring taking place, starts out at over $18.50 to $19 an hour. And very similar to a previous manufacturer, it does not require any previous manufacturing experience. So we take great pride in hiring for culture and for leadership traits. And then we spend actually the first 2 months training our employees before we expect them to be productive technicians on the shop floor. So between the two buildings, we have about 280,000 square feet, so pretty sizable locations. So we've partnered with not only the state of North Carolina, but also the county, the city, and the Chamber of Commerce over the last 5 years, as well as our higher education partner in AV Tech on a series of different grants, allowing us to expand our footprint here locally and employ folks like yourselves, recent high school graduates. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jesus Chavez, and he's going to step you through some of the different engine components that we're producing here in Asheville. Jesus?
Yeah, thanks, Ian. Yeah, as Ian mentioned, so it's pretty impressive. You know, some of the stuff that's done here in Asheville. So we have rotating parts up the hill. Here, what we call up the hill, it's it's probably like a few hundred feet next door here. So we're CMC is right next door. So these are just some of the engines the components that we make up this engine. So what happens is we're the component manufacturers of this engine, and we ship them to other sites where they eventually get assembled and mix up the engine, and then they'll eventually make it to the customer. So as you can see on this slide here, this is the unprecedented new product development, and we start up all the way from the GE-NX, and then we go to the Honda, and then the three engines in the bottom, those are the LEAP and the GE-9X engine, and those are composites, are the composites that we make in the CMC shop here in Nashville. Those are the engines that right now the higher volume parts. That's what those are the engines that our parts are making it into. And let me also highlight that our shop is the only one in the world that makes a high volume ceramic matrix composites. So it's really neat, to see. I started here 5 years ago, so just seeing the development of this technology. So the GE-9X, right now, it's the biggest beneficiary of this whole product line. So when you look at the GE-9X, if you go on a 777X, so a lot of those, if you go on an international flight, so you would probably eventually go on one of these engines. What you're going to see is, so we have about a 10% improve aircraft fuel burn. And also you have a 5% improve specific fuel consumption versus other engines that we've made. And we also take the environment in mind, to be able to have that sustainability going across our product lines. We want to make sure that our pollutants are minimized. So that's what this, the composites part of the business, that's what it also targets by making more fuel efficient engines. You put also less pollutants out into the environment. So anyways, these are some of the engines that right now we make components for. If we go to the next slide here, so on the next slide here, what you're going to see is you're gonna see like the actual CMC ceramic matrix composites breakthrough. For those of you not familiar with ceramic matrix composites, there's imagine like a carbon fiber. Asheville is really big into mountain biking, so there's some people like all those carbon fiber bikes. So if you look at those CMC sheets that they're made of, it's from a very fundamental side. We also get sheets of that CMC material, and then eventually they get made into different parts that will give us a stronger, lighter, and then you can burn hotter on this part. So there's a little bit of a for those of you that like looking into what it consists of. So CMCs pretty much it's a silicon carbon fibers in a silicon carbide matrix. So the diameter, if you look at the diameter of a human hair, those of you in metallurgy or chemical engineering there, you would probably appreciate this. You could see the microstructure of the composite, and it gives you a comparison there on the slide, what the diameter of a human hair looks like and what the diameter of a lot of these fibers will look like. So this yields into a stronger, lighter, and more durable material. So if we compare it to our nickel-based alloys, which is what we still make them, and it is, and when you compare it to those, the CMCs are twice stronger. They have a 20% better thermal capability, and like I was saying before, the fuel savings performance is phenomenal. So that all, those are all a lot of things a lot of our customers look for. So as an engineer here, as an employee here of GE, you're part of a team that's actually making a difference in the world. Having more sustainable aircraft up in the air and safer aircraft. It also improves the engine efficiency, and since the 1980s, pretty much GE has been committed, and even before, and then all in to deliver a better engine. So this gives you a trend line of of your material capabilities there, and then like I say, this didn't just start overnight, right? It's something that a lot of it's gone into a lot of R&D, a lot of testing, a lot of investigation, a lot of research has been done to get us to where we are right now. And I think Asheville as a site is benefiting from these developments. So right now, it tells you there that in the 1980s, it's when a lot of that research got done, and we're seeing some of the fruits of all that research, here in Asheville. So on the bottom right there, it tells you, the first gen, you have a turbine shroud on a G frame 7, and then we went to for LEAP engine, so your Boeing 737 Max. So that's your LEAP engines. So Airbus, Boeing uses this shroud components on it, and then right now our next high volume part is nozzles. Then we, eventually we're getting all the other components into a higher volume. So those are just some of the things we're working on, and we started also making some military components lately that hopefully one day we can start mass producing those. So you can go to the next slide, please. So I'm gonna go really quick on this one. So this is just the different parts of the engine. The shrouds, they're in the hotter parts of the engine, and then it has, just where your different components is when it comes to the engine. And a lot of this you can go to the GE Aviation website, and it'll tell you where all these components are. And if we go to the next and final slide for me here. So we have those are the rotating parts. So advanced machining of super alloys and same, we have seals, retainer discs, shafts, and then on the future, we have the list there. So, and it was very, very high level summary of some of the stuff we do here in Nashville.
Thank you, GE. Yeah. Thank you, GE Aviation. Now I'd like to introduce Dale Spivey from Dodge Power Transmission. Dale has been with the company for 29 years. He worked as an intern during the summer of his senior year in college and came back to the company after graduation and has been with the company since then. He's had many different roles during that time and even worked in another plant for 2 years. Dale said, "It has been a great place to work because of the people on the team and a tremendous learning and growth experience." Dale?
Hey, thanks, Tag, for that introduction. So I want to talk to everybody today about the Dodge Mechanical Power Transmission Company. Not Dodge cars, but a different company. So we've been in business since 1878. We started 143 years ago making wooden pulleys and wagon jacks. And we've evolved over that time to make a wide breadth of power transmission products in 5 plants in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Tennessee. And overall, we've got about 1,600 employees. So here in the Asheville area, we're actually in Weaverville. We've been manufacturing at the 70 Reams Creek Road location for 41 years. And during that time, we've had all kinds of products and processes that we've changed many times to respond to our different customers' needs. When the plant was built originally, we were about 80,000 square feet. So in that time, we've doubled in size. We're about 162,000 square feet now. We currently have 166 people on site. And yes, like everybody else, we're hiring right now. So on the next slide, you're going to see some of our products. We design, market, and manufacture these products to transmit power and move any kind of material you can think of. We do this, through our power transmission products, and we'll talk more about that as we look at customers and applications in the next few slides. So on this slide, this is a picture of an example of a bucket elevator in the grain industry, and it shows many different of our products in this application. So you kind of get to see the whole picture. And then below that are some of our customers. Many of them are distributors, and some of them are even end users that you might recognize, like Amazon. So next, I'm going to show you some application examples you might see every day. So on this next slide on the left are some of our couplings transmitting power through a vacuum recovery system. This system might recycle wastewater or other types of liquid. The application on the right is kind of unique. It's a large fan you might see on a golf course to blow leaves and dry the green itself off. So kind of a diverse difference in products. On the next slide, you're going to see some blue pumps on the left. Those are manufactured by one of our customers and use our shaft couplings. They can be utilized to pump any kind of liquid you can imagine, from chocolate to petroleum. On the right is an example of an aggregate plant where sand and stone would be conveyed with the process, and the end product that we might see would be like cement or concrete for a driveway or a road that we all travel on. Our drive products are used in wood chipper machines. On this slide, you're going to see a couple of examples of that. On the left is a commercial mulching machine, and that might be used to clear land, maybe in preparation to build a road or a house. And then the pictures on the right are some wood chippers, or a wood chipper that's used in clearing land and trees, like after a hurricane, or maybe clearing a power line right away. The next pictures are some green painted parts there. Those are some hydrodynamic bearings that we make here at our plant. These are utilized in the generation of power, which is pretty important to all of us, I think. The bearings there support large fans, and they recirculate hot gas in a steam turbine process. And then the last example that I've got is a unit handling conveyor, and our products are used inside of that to move any kind of product you can imagine, from Coca-Cola to something from Amazon that you're probably going to get, that you order today and get tomorrow. So next few slides, I was going to talk a little bit more about kind of how we produce this stuff and a little bit more about our processes. all of these slides are really all about technology and the application of it. That's how we stay competitive in the market. That's also the root of why we're talking to you, to get you thinking about your future and how you might get an idea of what you need to do to come work with us. So the first picture is of a shaft lathe that we have in the plant that produces shafts for conveyor pulleys. And moving through all of these slides, the machines are CNC controlled. So there's a technology and an automation around that, where we make V-groove shivs, timing pulleys for belt drive, power transmission systems. All the automation relative to like robotics, it helps us provide safety and quality and efficiency for the process. On the next slide, you're going to see pictures of some CNC Hobbing machines. They cut a straight tooth drive used in a belt drive system. And again, more robotics to load the lathes in these processes. We use a lot of that to keep our folks safe and also, like I said, the efficiency that it provides. The next slide, automation is definitely central to our business. And, the control you see there is the interface that the machinist interacts with or the engineer interacts with to tell the machine what processes are necessary. And it kind of takes out a lot of manual type operations. So the technology, again, is central to us. So on the next slide, what's in it for you? In manufacturing, if you like to learn about technology, if you like a challenge, manufacturing is a great place to be. Our business is very diversified in many markets, so it's more stable than many other jobs. It takes a team inside of a manufacturing plant to do what we need to do. So, it's a great opportunity to be a part of a team. On the next slide, we talk a little bit about those opportunities also related to, moving up in the company. If a person is interested in learning more, or moving within the plant, or even the company, 60% of our management team began their career on the shop floor, which is a great place to start. And inside of our facility, 6 plant managers have started in our location, and 4 of them began on the shop floor, and they're plant managers in other locations within the company. At the core of our work life is to provide for our families. We want to maintain a good work-life balance and offer good benefits to extend that to our families. And, one of our biggest benefits is college scholarships for children of employees. On the next slide, talk through, good pay is obviously very important. And you can see there our rates currently for some of the starting positions. But other benefits are very important too. Paid vacation, holidays, to enjoy that vacation at the beach or a big fishing trip that you might have planned. Health, eye, dental insurance, 401k and profit sharing programs for the future. And then 100% tuition reimbursement for our employees, which is the best scholarship out there. So what I'd like you to do, if you're seeing this presentation, is take a picture of this last slide. If you're interested in what you've seen, get started planning now. See your high school guidance counselor or a CTE director. Visit the tech school websites, find out when and where you can start. And our contact numbers are there. Contact us to talk about employment or apprenticeships, so that you can do some of this stuff while you go to school. So really appreciate the time and hope to hear from you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dodge Power Transmission. Hi, everyone. I'm Elise Lewis, business banker at Home Trust Bank. Home Trust is proud to sponsor this event today. I'd like to introduce Crystal Dredge of AvL Technologies. Crystal is the Director of Marketing for AvL. She has 20 years of product marketing experience in satellite and wireless communications, and most recently worked at Honeywell and EMS Defense and Space Systems in Atlanta prior to joining AvL in 2012. She holds a bachelor's degree in journalism from the University of Kansas and an MBA from Wichita State University. She's also a self-proclaimed space nerd and a very active martial arts practitioner.
Thank you, Elise, and thank you to the Asheville Chamber and EDC for inviting AvL Technologies to participate today. We're a business that's somewhat unusual in Western North Carolina. We work in the space industry, in satellite communications to be specific. AvL Technologies designs and manufactures positioners antennas, and terminals. Our products enable satellite communications for satellite, satellite news gathering, mobile broadband, internet access, disaster relief, oil and gas, and several other industries. Our most significant customers are government and military for the US and allied nations. AvL was founded in 1994 in Asheville by a brilliant engineer named Jim Oliver, and he's still our lead engineer, though he's semi-retired. As an engineering-based company, our engineers have a combined 400 plus years of experience with SATCOM antenna design and manufacturing and antenna controls engineering, including software. Within our industry, AvL is a clear leader. We have more than 250 employees. We've shipped more than 35,000 products in our 27 years. And we have a large tech campus with more than 100,000 square feet of manufacturing space and a test range, all up in North Asheville. Our products are known for being rugged and very, very reliable. We test our products to the extreme. This includes driving over new reflector designs and using hundreds of pounds of weight to test positioners. And if a customer does have an issue with an AvL antenna, we have the best customer service team in the industry, bar none. Our guys are fantastic. A few words about satellites. AvL historically has made antennas that operate with geosynchronous orbit satellites, which are 22,000 miles above the equator. We now make antennas that communicate with MEO satellites, which are 3,000 to 7,000 miles up, and we're moving into LEO satellites, which are hundreds of miles up and moving. Here you can see AvL legacy products for commercial markets, primarily satellite news gathering. When you see news from a remote location, like coverage of wildfires or hurricanes, it's often through an AvL antenna. The same goes for sporting events, like NASCAR, even the Olympics. And these are AvL legacy products for military use, including Army training and an active Army deployment. Our antennas are used by soldier communicators globally, and it's a source of pride at AvL knowing that our antennas enable critical communications and keep our men and women in uniform safe. So these are a few of our AvL terminals for MEO satellite communications. Because these terminals are tracking satellites that are moving quickly, a terminal is comprised of a pair of antennas plus additional radio frequency equipment. One antenna tracks the satellite from horizon to horizon, then hands the signal to the other antenna to catch the next satellite. And here's a quick overview of our product development process. It all starts with a customer and a need. Sometimes the need is weight or pack-up or something else. The engineers brainstorm ideas and set to work on a design. Sometimes it's all new. Sometimes it's a simple or significant modification of a current product. With an initial design, the engineers and the R&D team create a prototype and test it. Based on test results, the engineers modify the design, then modify the prototype until satisfied. The antenna might be prototyped and tested several times in this process until we're happy with the product. The antenna then moves to pre-production, and the engineers release the design and bill of materials to our materials and manufacturing teams, and a production plan is created. The antenna moves to production, parts are ordered, and production antennas are built, tested, and shipped to that customer based on the customer's schedule and need. So here's a few quick images showing the product development process. On the left is a design for an 85 centimeter MEO antenna. The middle antenna shows two 85 centimeter MEO positioners being tested for endurance with huge weights. The right image shows an engineer and the R&D folks preparing to prototype the antenna for testing on the MEO network. So the result is that antenna then goes to our customer, and here's one in use. These antennas were used to capture drone images during an operational test at a Marine base in California a few years ago. With AvL antennas and a MEO network, it was incredible to see the amount of data captured and the speed it was captured with. This MEO network is really powerful. Our antennas operate with an antenna control system, which we call the AAQ. This AAQ is essentially the brains of the antenna and tells it where to point. It interfaces with a compass and GPS to know the antenna's location on Earth relative to the satellite it's communicating with, including satellites that are moving in MEO or LEO orbit. We have several new products now in development. We're taking several of our legacy GEO antennas and upgrading them to MEO capability. We're also developing all new X over Y antennas, which are designed specifically for tracking and communicating with MEO and LEO satellites. This is all new for AvL. Our MEO antennas and terminals have worked for many years with the legacy MEO network. As that network is upgraded and new satellites are launched, we're collaborating with the customer to make new antennas to operate with new and much more powerful satellites. Our new antennas will track faster and enable even more throughput if that's possible. We're also developing an electronically steered array, or ESA antenna, with development funding from the Air Force. The antenna will have no moving parts, so it's not mechanical at all, and it can be conformal to a shape, such as a terrestrial vehicle or an aircraft. There's so many challenges with this type of antenna that we've brought several new engineers on board to help with it. This is just for fun. When you have great looking products, you get requests to use them as props and films. Here's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and even Talladega Nights. My favorite is a film called Aloha, which came out in 2015 because I got to choose and ship the antennas and then to Sony. And then it was a huge thrill to see them sharing a big screen. Thank you all for your time. AvL is a great company with great people and great products. And I hope this provided a little insight to a company that's sometimes called one of the best kept secrets in Asheville. Here's where you can find out more about us and where you can follow us. Thank you.
Thank you, AvL Technologies. Now I'd like to introduce Kristen Shuey of Hickman Edge Systems. Kristen joined the Hickman Edge family in July of 2021 as the sales support specialist. Through improved communication and internal support, this new role was designed to increase revenue in the independent rep channel. Among other shorter-term endeavors, Kristen's career history includes 14 years specializing in customer service, account management, and supply chain support for various powerhouses in the manufacturing industry. She studied at the College of Charleston, where she obtained her bachelor's in organizational leadership and management.
Hey everyone, my name is Kristen Shuey. I'm here this morning representing local manufacturer Hickman Edge Systems. We have been serving businesses in the United States for more than 75 years as the first ever edge metal roofing company. Our Hickman forefathers were technically inventors. So imagine traveling around planet Earth 10 times. That is how much metal we make each year on average. That's a lot of edge metal, and we are just getting started. Are any of you listening thinking, why edge metal? Fair question, and you wouldn't be the first. Until a few months ago, when I started my career with Hickman, had someone asked me what is so important about edge metal, I would have been completely stumped. So here's the scoop. Edge metal is actually the very first line of defense for our roofing systems. When roof damage occurs, it's most often due to failure at the edge. So in order for any roofing system to weather the storm, it needs a high quality edge metal. That's where we come in. Our products are designed to effectively terminate roofing systems of all shapes and sizes in order to prevent roof and water damage. We design our products to look pretty and to protect buildings while offering easy, time-saving installation. Fun fact, our product names are aligned with their unique functions. For example, TerminEdge. It literally terminates the membrane on the roof edge. PermaSnap. This product snaps on to offer permanent protection. Are you feeling clever? We still need a catchy name for our gutters, shown in this slide. Who knows, maybe one of you will bring that to the table. All of our products begin as a flat sheet of metal that are cut into blanks, which are roughly cut metal blocks intended for further shaping or finishing. To create the blanks, we use a shear, think giant paper cutters. The blanks are then moved to a turret, which is like a giant hole punch. At the turret, the shape is further defined by punching holes, slots, and special features. Finally, the blanks go to a press brake, where they are bent to specified angles, taking on intended shapes. If you need a better visual here, think of transformers. Maybe it's a little bit of a stretch, but the flat sheets would be the cars and trucks, and then the final transform products are your super strong transformers. Some of our products also require welding. The machine setup for our welding process demands that our operators read engineering blueprints and complete accurate measurements using protractors and tape measurers. Have you ever participated in or witnessed the good old dunking booth? Imagine this. Your best friend is nervously sitting on a platform, hovered over a tank of water while you stand outside the tank on dry land, smiling slyly and aiming a baseball at a bullseye. You focus, you throw the ball, you hit the bullseye, and your friend plunges into the water. Success. This is the laser focus and accuracy that must be applied to our welding process. Our final step is shipping. If insufficiently packaged or incorrectly loaded on trucks, the likelihood of damaged goods and therefore an unsatisfied customer is much higher. Imagine receiving your Amazon package. The box is tattered and torn. Your new gaming console is damaged. In this moment, you're likely very upset. You might even go on their website and write a negative review. On a larger scale, this is what we are working to prevent using our robust and durable packaging shown in this photo. Our shipping team is always on high alert. Mission, no customer complaints. Now that you know a little bit about our products and manufacturing processes here at Hickman, it's important to talk people and goals. We have lofty goals for 2022 and will continue to aim higher in the years to follow. With these incredible goals comes the need for more personnel, more assets. So I would ask, what can you do for us? Over the next several slides, I'll be highlighting different career paths that you'll find at Hickman and the skills required for success in those areas. Despite what many of you may think, a career in manufacturing does not pigeonhole you into one line of work for the rest of forever. There is so much opportunity and it's truly exciting. This slide is a depiction of our current organizational chart. Our team is very diverse in backgrounds, skills, and interests. Some folks went to college for engineering, others for business, computer science, marketing. Many people opted for technical colleges. Some just mastered some trades. One of our reps studied meteorology, and we even have some overachievers out there with several master's degrees. Regardless of your current interests and the specific path you'll take over the next few years as you plot out your life course, it's super likely that your skills and passions can be utilized here at Hickman Edge Systems. A solid understanding of the critical thinking and problem-solving methods taught in STEM programs is tremendously helpful in the edge metal roofing industry. Just as Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone, you too can invent. Our innovation team is currently launching our first ever measuring app this year, and we will continue to pave the way with new tools and ideas. Our facility is going paperless by 2023, and we would love your fresh perspective and new ideas in how to become lean, mean, and green, like the Incredible Hulk. Hickman is different from some companies in that most of our non-shop teammates interface with customers. So here's where my true passion kicks in: customer service excellence. We are absolutely nothing without loyal, satisfied customers. Relationship building and a servant-like mentality are everything. My favorite quote of all time is extremely applicable here. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. You should write that one down. Work hard, play hard. That's the mentality for our strategic team, which consists of sales, marketing, and product management, to name a few. We believe in fostering a fun, family-oriented environment as we work to become a multi-billion-dollar company. This photo represents our Jersey Thursday tradition, where we will wear NFL jerseys to kick off each weekend's lineup of games. Our strategic team has mastered the balancing act of having fun and enjoying each day while handling impressively large workloads. We have great energy here at Hickman, and if you didn't already know, energy is contagious. Pictured here, we have one of our premier regional technical sales reps, Katie Miller, as she is out in the field measuring a job for one of our customers. She is an expert in measuring every single building to ensure that our product fits like a glove. It's important that she leverage her skills and knowledge, whether talking to an architect about design or speaking with a foreman on a job site. Our regional technical sales team exemplifies both people skills and tech savviness. Are you starting to see why we really focus on customer service excellence? It's pretty much in everything we do. Seeing as we currently have a sales team of 2 here at Hickman, we rely greatly on our independent sales rep force. Do you love building relationships? Having your income directly correlate to hard work in the field, selling our edge metal? We employ independent sales reps across the country who work for themselves with us to expand, promote, and sell the Hickman brand. We are also affiliated with so many different companies. One example being the American Institute of Architects, or AIA. We provide them with training sessions to ensure they are meeting continued education requirements in order to keep their licenses up to date. In return, we work with them to try to get Hickman Edge Metal written into their specs, because our chances of securing orders, which we call jobs, greatly increases if we are specified by the architect. So when you're riding in a car, or I guess actually some of you are driving by now, good times. Anyway, the #1 priority is to buckle your seatbelt. Similarly, at Hickman, safety comes first. This is our top priority here at Hickman Edge Systems. In the photo, you'll see that the contractor is wearing his harness while installing one of our top selling products, TerminEdge. Remember, terminate edge is the product that actually terminates the membrane at the edge. Dreaming of a mansion on the water? You'll need to get to know or become an architect one day. For the pictured building, the architect had a very fun design in mind with these sweeping curves, which proved challenging for many edge metal manufacturers, but not Hickman. With 75 years in the game, we are well-versed in handling these challenging conditions. By using our 3D modeling technology, we are able to quickly review the designs that are needed by the architects. It's really a partnership. Private labels offer a wonderful opportunity for us to increase production and sales as we provide Hickman edge metal for our partnering private label companies for them to sell as their brand to complete their full roofing system. Firestone would be a great example. We make edge metal here at Hickman, but it is embossed with the Firestone name. So think Great Value versus Heinz. Walmart is selling Heinz ketchup in a Great Value branded bottle. Our private labels kind of follow the same concept. Again, we see the importance in building relationships through our strategic account partnerships. We partner with big box retailers and fast food chains to ensure our product is the basis of design on every single building. So for example, every new or renovated McDonald's or Target building will have Hickman metal edging. Strategic accounts are a huge opportunity for us here at Hickman. We are really diving into this initiative moving forward. Now that we've reviewed our products, processes, and career opportunities, I'd like to talk about something that truly sets Hickman Edge Systems apart. In the 21 years I've spent in the workforce, this is the very first time I've worked for a company that genuinely cares about the culture, the people. The Hickman culture consists of collaboration, inclusion, personal growth, continuous improvement, quality, cost reduction, and green initiatives, to name a few. It genuinely feels like family here, and I look forward to coming into work each day. Do you want to find a career path where your work-life balance is never jeopardized, where endless opportunities await if you are motivated, passionate, dedicated, and hungry? As I mentioned earlier, Hickman Edge Systems is embarking upon a chapter of huge growth. If you're interested in pursuing a career in the manufacturing industry while staying in the beautiful Asheville area, reach out to us. We would love to grow with you.
Thank you, Hickman Edge Systems. Now I'd like to introduce Linamar, North Carolina. Paola Cruz is a Western Carolina University alumni. She began her career at Linamar in May of 2019 and is now a process engineer who focuses on waste reduction and the efficiency improvements.
Thank you. My name is Paola Cruz. I am a process engineer here at Linamar. When I applied for this role, I had no previous manufacturing experience apart from my degree. Within 2 years, I went from being an intern to a junior engineer to a process engineer. That is not to pat myself on the back. It's to discuss the Linamar culture we have. My good friend Eddie, on your left, began fresh out of high school. He started working as a temporary employee, then became a full-time operator, setup technician, and now he is an engineering technician. The man he works under, Justin, went through the same process and got his degree while at Linamar in 7 years. At Linamar, we promote a culture of growth. Frank Hassenfranz, our founder, began this company with $15 in his pocket after he immigrated to Canada. He started with one lathe in his basement in 1964 and has grown the company to where it is now. At Linamar, over the next 57 years, this company has expanded to have influence around the world. Each one of the facilities shown here are held to the same standard of excellence, our stepping stool. Like a stool with 3 legs, we like to focus on maintaining structure on all 3, employee, customer, and financial. Of all of our facilities, we are able to have a diverse focus on the market. We aim to continue our expansion in the future. At LNC, our specific focus is transportation, and we are expanding into battery electric vehicle components starting as soon as next year. Here at Linamar, we have 2 main buildings. Each building has a different focus. In Pisgah, we mainly produce transmission gears. In Mitchell, we produce engine blocks and other large precision machine components. Currently, we are planning a 75,000-foot expansion for battery electrical vehicles. This innovation will carry us into the future. Here you can see the two buildings, and to the left is where we will perform our expansion. Moving on. One of the gear transmission components for the customer we call ZF, we are strategically located to provide precision ground gears to our customer in Greyhort. These gears go into Land Rover vehicles. Our gears are so precise that here in our facility, we test them for gear transmission noise. One small nick or a chip can create a ta-ta-ta-ta-ta, which is audible and unacceptable. For Ford, at LNC, we not only machine the gears that you see here, but we assemble them. These 3 gears are pressed to form the one in the bottom of the page. These components are used in hybrid transmissions for the North American and European markets. We produce enough components to manufacture over 1,000 vehicles per day. For Tremec, we also produce the transmission components for the new mid-engine C8 Corvette and M240 Maserati. This small gear in the upper right-hand corner is called the planet gear. It's referencing the fact that it revolves around another gear in the lower right-hand corner called the sun gear. For the Ford ladder frame, this is called a ladder frame, but it's actually an oil pan. It's a difficult die-cast component that is produced at our George Fisher Linamar facility, GFL, near our Asheville airport. In order to create a die-cast, we take molten aluminum and pour it into a pressurized mold to get what you see here. We then fully machine and assemble this piece, so it is with us from start to finish. Now you will remember the C8 Corvette and the M240 Maserati from before. The gears that we make and assemble into this housing are placed into this housing, which we also produce. This is another complicated die-cast component with extremely thin-walled sections to reduce weight. For our 4-cylinder engine block, as you can tell by the 4 circles, we use a plasma spray, which is created by igniting hydrogen gas to melt iron powder that coats the cylinder bore. This is in contrast to the typical process of using cast iron, which is pretty heavy. This industry-leading technology that we use is lightweight, which drives improvement in fuel efficiency. It is also harder and more wear-resistant. For the Volvo engine block, it's a 6-cylinder diesel engine block for large Volvo and Mack trucks, as you can tell by the 6 cylinders. In terms of quality, this block has around 600 features, each of which has to be checked within the process to provide real-time feedback to the machines. Once it is finished, it is ready for assembly. Now, when I began my high school journey, I planned on being a pastry chef. In my senior year of high school, I had a change of heart. When I told my mother that I wanted to be an engineer, she said, "But Paola, you never took apart the computers, you never built your own TV." And I said, "Of course, you would have killed me." You do not have to be a child prodigy to succeed in STEM. During my senior year of high school, I took 1 course in CNC machining to see if I would like the field. After I completed this course, that gave me enough confidence that I would succeed. At your high school, take a look at your available courses. Check one out to see if you like the field and reference your center or career and technical education system. At Linamar, once you graduate from high school, look into an entry-level position to get your foot in the door. As you grow with the company, you can find a profession that suits you. If you like creating things with your hands, you may enjoy production or engineering. If you are very organized, you would do great in our material handling. If you enjoy math, there may be a spot for you in accounting or purchasing. And if you enjoy being a community leader, human resources would be a fulfilling area for you. Once you are here, we can help you grow. For tuition and reimbursement, helping employees keep their skills current has benefits not only for the employee, but also the employer. Linamar offers a tuition reimbursement program to hire and retain top talent. For employees, taking advantage of Linamar's tuition reimbursement program is the perfect way to build the skills while also building value for Linamar as a career. At this point in your life, you will be asked, where do you see yourself in 5 years? At the beginning of my senior year in high school, I envisioned myself waking up at 4 a.m. to make croissants at my cafe. I never would have imagined myself here, and I'm pretty happy that I took that shot. Try Linamar out and let's see where you can grow. Thank you.
Thank you, Linamar. Hi, everyone. I'm Maureen Scullen. I work in business relations for Party UNC Healthcare and Party at Work. I've been in healthcare marketing and business development for over 20 years now. And now I'd like to introduce Keith Howell of Thermo Fisher Scientific. Keith Howell is the Director of Operations for Thermo Fisher Scientific's Asheville location. Thermo Fisher Scientific is a world leader in serving science with over 35 billion with a B in annual revenue, and the Asheville location special temperature refrigeration and high performance laboratory refrigerator freezers, including those needed for COVID vaccines. And I'm happy to say that Pardee Hospital has purchased those freezers. Thank you. Keith currently manages plant operations across multiple Asheville, North Carolina sites, which includes over 1,000 employees, primarily within manufacturing and engineering departments. While delivering needed biomedical refrigeration across the globe, Keith and his entire team remain on the forefront of Thermo Fisher's mission of enabling our customers to make the world healthier, cleaner, and safe. Thank you, Keith.
Thank you, and thank you for the introduction. Welcome to Manufacturing Day. She did a great job introducing me, but I am Keith Howell. I'm the Site Director of Operations, Plant Leader for the Aiken Road and warehousing facilities here in Asheville. So a couple of years ago, we actually hosted the Manufacturing Day at our facility at 275 Aiken Road in Weaverville. And although everyone's not able to join in person, I'm really excited that we're able to have this virtual visit today. So Thermo Fisher's mission by 2030, and as part of their vision, is to be the world's leader in serving science. That means a lot of different things to a lot of people, but serving the science and medical community is the vision of what Thermo Fisher wants to be. So as a company and size-wise, we're about 35 billion in overall revenue. There's 460 sites in 50 different countries around the world. And if I'm presenting this 6 months from now, a year from now, it's going to be even bigger because we're still growing as a company. So our mission as a company is to enable our customers to make the world healthier, cleaner, and safer. And we do that here in Asheville by producing the laboratory products, as mentioned, cold storage products, as well as other laboratory products. So part of the culture of Thermo Fisher is what we call our 4I values. First and foremost, integrity, involvement, intensity, and innovation. And that's core of who we are as a company and who we are culturally. So here's a photo of our Asheville manufacturing facility. That's at 275 Aiken Road in Weaverville. That's 290,000 square feet of manufacturing space. We've also got locally at a couple warehouses, 170,000 square feet of warehousing space as well too. So what we do matters to the world, and how we do it matters to us. And our motto here at our facility is easier, better together. And our products, as shown in this slide, that's an ultra low temperature freezer. And we've, had the responsibility and really great opportunity, part of the COVID-19 pandemic, to make the cold storage products to support the vaccines as well as the test kits. And we've done that all out of our Asheville factory. So next slide is where we talk about what we do matters to the world. And here's just a visual of everywhere that we ship. And this isn't by no means everywhere, but just indication of our factory here in Asheville, just the global reach and global impact that we're having on a daily basis. So we ship both domestically here in the United States and international, as that graph shows. So how do we make the products that we do? So as a company, we're just over 90,000 as a company, and just about 1,000 here in Asheville. At our facility, we fabricate, we brake presses, turrets, lasers, we weld, we powder coat paint. We do all the assembly, test, and we are literally starting from raw materials metal and finishing that up and shipping it directly to the customer. So it's an end product when it leaves our facility. So roles. So in our factory here, there's a variety of roles. We fabrication roles, assembly roles, engineering roles, HR roles, quality, management roles. It runs the gambit because we do everything here locally. So opportunities, and something I'd like to just kind of make you guys aware of is the AvL Tech Apprenticeship program. So we're part of that, and that's a great opportunity to get the skills necessary after high school to enter into the manufacturing workforce. So here at Thermo Fisher, we've got great starting pay rates from $17 up to $21 an hour, depending on the type of job and the experience you have coming into the role. Okay. So another great thing is that our benefits start day one here at Thermo Fisher. So that's insurance, everything starts day one. Also, as a company, Thermo Fisher really invests in our employees, and we do that through a lot of different programs, leadership development programs here locally. And if we go to the next slide, we do also offer tuition reimbursement, master's degree programs. So really the possibilities are endless and what you want to make it here at Thermo Fisher. Big thing for us is community involvement. So we have what we call ERGs, employee resource groups, and those are affinity groups that you can join and get connected and be a part of our local community, and also network and collaborate with folks here locally and a bigger part of the company as well too. So next steps and what you'd want to do to pursue a career at Thermo Fisher is, go here to the last slide here is, the QR code. And I encourage you to snap a photo of that, scan the QR code and go to jobs.thermofisher.com. And that's where you can see what we have posted today and where you can start your career journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Thermo Fisher Scientific. Now I'd like to introduce Kevin Kimray of AB Technical Community College. Kevin is the Director of Economic and Workforce Development at AB Tech. AB Tech is the home to Advanced Manufacturer Center, a 30,000 square foot building devoted to short-term, non-degree training in advanced manufacturing sector. Take it away, Kevin.
Thank you, Maureen, and hello, everybody. As Maureen said, I am Kevin Kimray, and I work at AB Tech's Advanced Manufacturing Center. I got my bachelor's and master's degrees from NC State and worked for many years in various capacities in manufacturing. I have worked in the community college system for about 10 years, helping people get trained in manufacturing skills. So we do customized training for industry, the folks that have been talking to you today. We work with all of them. And we also do short-term training that can lead directly to employment with all of our awesome local manufacturing companies. We have all kinds of new high-tech training equipment at the Advanced Manufacturing Center. So if you haven't been to AB Tech to see it, I invite you to come out anytime for a tour. We'd be happy to show it to you. In lieu of that today, since we can't be in person, I'd like to show you a couple of videos that will give you a virtual tour of the Advanced Manufacturing Center and the programs that we offer. So please cue the videos. So if you want more information, check us out on AvTech's website. Click on manufacturing on the main page and then Advanced Manufacturing Center, or call us at 398-7760. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin, for the fun videos, and thank you to all of the presenters for sharing with us today what it's like to work in manufacturing and all the different opportunities. I am just so impressed with the presentations and with all the different ways anyone, high school students, recently graduated students, and any adults that are interested in pursuing this as a career change or what have you. So thanks again to our presenters. We are going to now take some questions from the students. The students actually registered for this program and submitted some questions, very thoughtful and honest questions about manufacturing. And, honestly, many of you touched on those questions in your presentation. So I think you are helping to expand the worldview of the students who are participating today, but I still think we can touch on some of them directly. So why don't we go to, there's the first question, which I think is necessary for everyone to think about, is why did you choose manufacturing? Some of you talked about how you started in different fields, or that you had different ideas for what you thought you wanted to do. And can anyone chime in to say what led you to manufacturing and why did you choose it?
Sure, I can offer some feedback on that. So to be honest and to be realistic, I wanted to choose a field that I could use to pay my student loans. And I know that over the years, I've still been able to pursue my passion projects. So having a nice, secure position allows me to use those funds that I receive from this and practice my art, practice my martial arts, and it gives me a lot more freedom in my having this as my main career choice.
Great answer. Jesus, yeah, I'd love to hear from you. You're muted right now.
Can you hear me? Yeah. So for me, April, and thanks for asking that question. I think for me, it stems from a lot of the, willing to step up to the challenges of, everyday world problems, and, solving those problems that I think now more than anywhere, like I think there's problems that we're trying to solve and solutions that we're trying to bring to the world. So what better way than do it through manufacturing? Because I think that's a great channel. It's a way to interact with other people. It's a great way to create that cross-functional team and communication. So manufacturing has given me that. It has given me that other perspective that it ties in a lot of the hobbies I like to do. So like me personally, I love working on old cars, and I love working on a lot of home projects. So I like bringing the hobbies, things I love, into my everyday work life.
Thank you, Jesus. Yeah, and I imagine a lot of people that enter into manufacturing get a lot of fulfillment in that hands-on work environment where you are tinkering, you're building, you're, machining. And so maybe Dale and John, one of you could speak to, how that fulfillment and, how now that you're really not on the shop floor anymore, how did you get drawn into it and how did that fulfill you?
For me, it's very similar to Jesus. Growing up, I always liked to tinker with things and make things, and so that pushed me towards engineering. But I'm very thankful that I kind of chose advanced manufacturing, because when you're inside of a plant, there's all kinds of things that you're going to be doing each day. So it's not like you're doing the same exact thing every single day. You're going to be facing different challenges and problems to solve.
Yeah. And April, I'd add on to that. I will tell you, when I set out to start my career, I didn't immediately think of manufacturing, and I think that's really important. I kind of lucked into working for a great company like Eaton. I didn't really know a lot about them, and started, and then quickly saw the amount of career opportunities that manufacturing presents you with. And I think for me, it's not so much how I figured out I wanted to start in manufacturing, but then figuring out how I wanted to stay in manufacturing. It was really the career advancement combined with exactly what Dale talked about. Every day, and Jesus, every day you're presented with a different challenge. And that different challenge is going to be one of maybe it's a supply issue from a supplier, maybe it's an engineering issue where something's not fitting quite right. And maybe it's a people issue, maybe you're working with a variety of different personalities, a variety of different people, but at the end of the day, you try to figure out how to get that culture developed at the plant or at the business that you're working at. So I think it's a great place to at least give it a try, because it's a lot of fun to be a part of. It's a great place to find a team atmosphere and a culture that you can really rally around. And, to your point, April, you're building something, you're making something. How cool is it when you look at the customer base? I mean, look at the people that, the manufacturers around this council here are making products for the biggest companies in the world, and that's pretty cool. And products that, whether you know it or not, you're interacting with on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. So that's pretty jazzing, if you ask me. I love it.
April, I would just build on that, if you don't mind. This is Ian with GE. To John's point around teaming and culture, that was really the biggest concern I had leaving professional baseball, being a student athlete, leaving a team environment, joining manufacturing. I didn't know how much was going to be focused on piecework versus it being an actual team sport, if you will, or process. But truly, I mean, if you just look, simply put, at Jesus and my shirt, we all wear the same jersey at GE. We all consider each other to be teammates. So truly, when you think about the issues that we deal with on a daily, weekly basis, we try to attack it from a team perspective versus it being about the individual. So that's something I wasn't initially drawn to about manufacturing, but I am humbled by it, and I'm pleasantly surprised that the culture is very much focused on everybody, not just leadership or not just one individual person. It's something that I really like about it.
Thank you, Ian. Yeah, and I actually was going to see if, we have represented here today for our speakers, we have folks who came into the shop floor and started working in production and now are leading the sites, but we also have individuals who are working for manufacturing companies, but doing office work, and doing professional services. And so it's really key, I think, for especially young people and parents to think about all the support services that are required in order to make products, so there's HR, there's marketing, there's sales. And so I would hand it over to Crystal or Aaron or Kristen and Ian, if you would like to speak to, what those opportunities look like and what led you to the industry.
Sure, I'll say a few words. I've been working most of my career in technology and engineering. And what I love about it is that I love working with technical people, and I love learning something new every day. And even though I'm an office person, so to speak, I'm in marketing, and I travel and launch new products and get to meet customers and do really cool things. The amount I learn from our manufacturing staff is unbelievable. I never would have known how important paint is in reflecting a signal to a satellite. It's very, very important. So we have paint teams who know all kinds of really technical information, and I love spending time with them and learning about paint, about carbon fiber, about the importance of how metal is used in our products. And it's just, to me, it's great being in a manufacturing environment where you're working with technical products. To me, it's a win-win. You get to learn so much. You get to make cool things. You get to tell the world about great products. And it's just something I really, really enjoy.
I can go next. So I think to add to that, I never envisioned myself going into manufacturing. Honestly, Eaton came on campus. It was really the people, the processes that we had that drew me to join Eaton as a company and have kept me with the company for so long. So I think also if you look at some of the comments that were made earlier when it comes to sustainability and the stability of manufacturing, when we look at the last 18 months, we truly are essential employers, especially if you look at the global pandemic that's been happening as well. We've maintained operations. We're continuing to power hospitals and universities, wastewater treatment facilities, oil rigs, all of the technology that you need to be able to live in the world that we're in today. Manufacturing provides those products, provides those services to be able to live in the world that we have. So although I am not technical, joining the company, definitely that culture, the products that we're building are something that I find passion in. I don't understand all the technical details, but finding folks that know more than I do to come into the business and having that team environment, that culture within our organization is something that I find very valuable and has kept me with me for so long.
Yeah, thank you, Erin. How about Kristen? Would you want to add to that?
Yeah. So I guess I'll touch on how I got into manufacturing as well. But when I was in college, I kind of was jumping all over the place. I tried philosophy, and business. I I was studying music for a while. I was just trying to figure out what was going to stick for me because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then my dad worked at Nucor Steel, so I had a foot in the door. Had an opportunity to get in there, and it was pretty life-changing. It taught me all of the essential skills that I need to be successful pretty much in every arena of my life. So how to interact with people, how to be collaborative and get things done, just how to treat people in general. And I tried to leave manufacturing for a bit, and it's kind of one of those things that once you're in it, it kind of just sucks you back in. So here I am again, and it's really fun because like they're talking about, learning from the technical people. I don't know any of that right now, but I have a great team of people who are like willing to answer all my questions and spend time cross-training me. And I think that's amazing.
Thank you, Kristen. Yeah, you touched on something that was a question submitted by the students actually, so it's a good segue. One of the questions was, can I start in manufacturing and, transition to different careers or transition to different fields? Is manufacturing, a good starting place if I, say, for example, just want an entry-level job? Anyone want to speak to how, those entry-level jobs develop some of those essential skills and help develop some of those professional skills that then can lend themselves to be transferable in other industries?
Hi, April. May I speak for a moment? I actually started in manufacturing. My first job was in sales and marketing for John Deere, and really got to learn a lot about how to understand technical information, how to work with people from around the world. And even though I've left manufacturing, those are skills that really are the backbone of what I do today. So it was really a good place to start and learn for me.
Ty, thank you so much. That's fantastic. I think that really exemplifies this question.
April, I'll say one other thing. When you look at things that are important as being a professional in the workforce, I will say manufacturing will give you some great training on some hard skills, which are, whether it's machining or whether it's assembly or things like that, but also the soft skills of working with a team of people, being managed by a supervisor, some good, some bad, waking up in the morning and going to work every day and working a full 10-hour shift, and just standard kind of things that create good work ethic and good professionalism that are going to expand in whatever you do. regardless of the career in which you choose. So those are the types of things that I think being responsible and accountable for things. I mean, those are all the things that we as youthful professionals need to develop, and manufacturing, I think, does a really good job of teaching you those things in addition to providing you with a lot of advancement opportunities.
Thank you, John. Well, so one other question, again, good segue. When we're talking about skills, there were a lot of questions about what kinds of education background do I need? What kinds of skills do I need? And a lot of you actually spoke to that in your presentations, which I really appreciate. That, there's a lot of positions open right now for individuals that don't necessarily have a background in manufacturing or have the technical skills. Anyone want to speak? And actually, I was going to see Kevin, if you want to speak to, since you kind of serve everyone, you're the training person that everyone comes to when they say, hey, I need, these new hires to be trained. What do you hear from manufacturers about the skills needed? And I know we have a whole group of manufacturers here that can also speak to it, but maybe you could kind of speak high level.
Sure. I would say universally that it's not necessary for people to have hardcore technical skills. What I hear from everyone is that we want good people. We want people who are good communicators. We want people who are willing to work, who are willing to come to work, who are willing to help us solve problems. So it's not necessary for high school students who are graduating necessarily to all be engineers or go down that path. Most of the companies that will training on a lot of things, but most of the companies have their own processes, and so they're all really good at helping them in those technical aspects. And I would say we probably at AV Tech, we probably do as much training in things like professional development and leadership and business support, things like how do you navigate a Excel spreadsheet, that kind of thing. I think we do as much of all of that, safety, as we do technical training. So what I would say is, it's really about attitude. I hear a lot of employers say we like to hire for attitude and aptitude. And so to me, that includes anybody.
Yeah. Good point. There were a couple other questions about safety, actually, and I was glad to see that all of you talked about safety in your presentation. I think that is probably one of the biggest concerns when it comes to parents and when it comes to young people to think about manufacturing as a career. Just instantly, it sounds dangerous. One of the questions literally was, is it dangerous? And so I think it's really important for us to spend some time to talk about. And honestly, I just want to say, that's the downside of doing this virtual presentation. It's so important for anyone who's exploring this, or even if this is the first time you've ever thought about manufacturing, so important to actually go visit these facilities, because you will see that it is not dangerous, and it is not, like kind of the old days of manufacturing. And there's a lot of sort of illuminating. The facilities are clean and spacious. So anyone want to take that question?
Yeah, I can start if you guys don't mind. So safety, in GE, it's a core value, and I'm sure it's a core value for all the companies here on this call. For me, when I graduated college, I watched a lot of those horror films, right? All those black and white films that had all the oily shop floors and it was scary, right, to think that, you know, I'm going to go in there, I don't know how I'm going to come out of there. But I think we've come a long ways from that. You know, there's a lot of standards, a lot of values right now. You know, it's embedded in our values. You know, I know, like, personally as an engineer, when I come in, you know, and I buy equipment for an install, you know, and it's something that as a team we decide that without safety in mind, then I don't care how much money the company's going to make with that equipment, it is not worth it. So all our equipment, there's guarding, like you say, April, you come into our, I know in GE here, you come into our shop floor. I mean, it's like, I know when I came in, I was like, well, I've never seen such white floors ever. And it's very well labeled. We have some very knowledgeable safety teams on site, but then it's more than that, right? Like, it's listening to the customer. And by customer, I mean like each other. So we treat each other like we're each other's customer, right? So everybody has the power to submit a safety concern and to address an issue, and we all work towards that solution. So I think as a whole, obviously safety never stops. It's a continuous improvement that we're all liable for. But I can tell you right now that that at least the manufacturing floor here at GE is probably one of the safest places I've been in.
Thank you, Jesus.
I'd like to add a little something to that. So just like Jesus said, safety never stops. And the way we make sure that we're continuously improving is we have to set standards. So by setting standards for safety and then constantly improving those, we are forevermore focusing on our employee. Here at Linamar, we have the stepping stool. The stepping stool, one of those legs is the employee leg, and we are not only following the standards set by the government for safety, but we are also following our own standards to make sure that we are keeping all of our employees safe.
Thank you, Paula.
Yeah, April, I'll just add one quick thing to that. So I don't want to give the illusion that manufacturing is not without what we'll call hazards. I would say every industry, every job that you have has potential hazards. What we focus on here at Eaton is making sure that all employees understand what those hazards are and understand how they can protect themselves from those hazards. Because at the end of the day, a hazard only becomes dangerous if you have an employee that either doesn't understand what the hazards are, or is distracted, or has some other element that potentially creates a dangerous situation. So while we spend an incredible amount of time and money making sure that our employees are safe and making sure our machinery that we utilize is safe, at the end of the day, there are hazards that exist, and we focus on training employees on how to recognize those hazards and not make those hazards into a dangerous situation.
That's really, really good perspective to share and clarity. You know, the other thing I was thinking about is, you know, ergonomics and, you know, overuse of people's bodies and how that is also considered in your safety protocols. And, you know, a lot of times when we general public hears about automation and that sort of thing, that's actually to improve the safety and to improve the longevity of the workers by incorporating robots to pick up big heavy things so that it's not incumbent on the people, or to do something that introduces more hazardous conditions. And so, you know, I know everyone here has got robots on their floor. And again, when I promise you that we will have a year someday in the future that we'll actually get to go visit all of these facilities. It's my promise. And you'll see the robots aren't, you know, maybe what like sci-fi movies tell us robots are, but they are very smart and amazing at improving the safety and the conditions of the facilities. Anyone want to add to that?
Yeah, I'll just say that, we certainly look at efficiency through robotics, but that's also just a great way to get anybody out of harm's way and keep them safe and sound. And that is our number one goal. We would give any employee the right to stop at any time to say, I'm worried about this. So we leave that in their hands to identify that if that's a problem. So the robotics help in that because it puts it further away from them. And then we certainly, put safeties around the robotics themselves. So to make it, hopefully accident free.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, I left the most popular question for last, and a lot of you actually spoke to it. But of course, the question that everyone has is about pay. And I don't think we need to spend a lot of time. We're running up to our close here. But I think if you could speak to, what is the minimum wage? Would everyone say a minimum wage to start in the industry is 18? Would everyone say that is true? Are there positions where you could start younger?
Yeah, just weighing in from a GE perspective, as I mentioned earlier during my presentation. So typically a technician who just recently graduated would start on either second or third shift, and they would receive what's called a night shift bonus at 10%. So in terms of wages, we actually look at our wage bands for hourly technicians on an annual basis to adjust with the market. And so I can say with confidence, at least at GE, that every entry-level position for a high school graduate or someone that doesn't have manufacturing experience would be at least $18 an hour. Probably north of that.
Aaron or John, were you going to add? Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say we're in a very similar situation and have similar shift premiums, or shift differentials as well. And I think what's important when you talk compensation, hourly wage is obviously a very important factor of it. One thing that you're going to get pretty much exclusively across the manufacturing sector is things like retirement savings, things like health insurance on day one, things like tuition reimbursement, continuing education opportunities. All of those things come pretty much standard across the industry, which I think is one of the great things that you're going to get at a manufacturing sector that you may not get in the service industry or other industries that you may look to out of high school.
I think to add to that, as you're looking at future career opportunities, taking a look, as John mentioned, at that total compensation. Take that and evaluate. So just base wages versus base wages with additional benefit. There's definitely a cost implication for that piece.
Yeah.
Another thing I'd like to add on that is where you might start is not where you will end. So whatever career choice you are looking into, try to factor in the salary band of where your career progression will take you. So for example, starting at an entry-level position in manufacturing, as you've heard from other presenters, a lot of our program managers are starting on the manufacturing floor. So take that into consideration of where you can grow and where your salary can grow.
Thank you.
I would second that as well. There are many technicians who started as high school graduates, put in 2-3 years on the shop floor, ended up being promoted after pursuing a degree. Here's a plug for AV Tech at AV Tech. And now they're making well over $30 an hour. And that took them all of maybe 2 or 3 years to get to that point. So it's amazing, not just at GE, but at every manufacturer, the ability to progress in terms of not only your career path, but also your wages is unprecedented and maybe unrivaled as well by other industries.
Also here, again, I get the benefit of working with a lot of different companies. And so the stories that I hear about people who started in entry-level jobs out on the floor and progressed is just, it's all over the place. So I was talking with a company last week, and I didn't know this about the human resources person even started out as a machinist out on the on the shop floor and eventually worked his way up into being a director of human resources. So, you know, wherever you start and wherever you go, you're going to get a lot of experience, and that's going to serve you well.
Yeah, another way to think about compensation, you know, for those there were about almost 40% of the students that submitted their registration form indicated that they didn't know what they would do after high school. They didn't know if they would go to 4-year college. They didn't know if they would go to 2-year. They just said undecided, which is totally normal. And I don't think that we normalize that in our society enough. And we all feel like we're alone when we don't know what we want to do. But, you know, one of the things that I think about is I was college bound, and, you know, I did the college, but I had to get financial aid for it. And I'm 40 and I'm still paying for it. And so one of the ways to think about compensation is that carrying cost of that debt that I'm now paying for, as opposed to starting out of college with 401k, with, you know, benefits, with, you know, $18 an hour job, and then actually leveraging that job to get the degree that I think I might want, or to figure out what the next steps are for me. You know, that $18 an hour is all of a sudden a lot more because it avoided debt, you know? So for those that aren't decided, you know, and don't have a clear direction, there's a really amazing opportunity here to buy some time, but not go into debt while you're buying time, you know, and then actually see what comes of it. So, well, we're at time, and we are so thankful to all of you for carving out your time and your time with us right now, but also your time in developing these presentations. It's a lot of work to actually put something like this together. And you know, and on one hand, it's really nice that we're able to do it virtual because it's recorded, and this presentation can be shared, you know, forever. So for anyone that has been able to join for the live portion, please feel free to share the link. I also wanted to make a note that I will be sending an exit survey. And so to anyone that's already registered, you will have the chance to enter to win an iPad. So all you have to do is complete the exit survey, and then you'll be entered to win. I'm going to keep that survey open until the end of October. So it's the 1st of October. So we've got 30 days to get this presentation and to get this link shared and watched. Even if you can't watch it at school, feel free to watch it at home, and then submit the exit survey. I'll put it in the comments of the video as well. And in closing, I'd like to thank our sponsors again. We're very grateful for your investment to allow us to offer this program. Also, very warm welcome, or thank you to our presenters. It's clear you've spent a lot of time on these presentations. It's clear you're very passionate about the role that you can play in changing the trajectory of some people, or just benefiting them. And for the students, again, like I said, we'll send you the exit ticket. If you're watching the recording, you can find the link if you didn't register before. But with that, thank you all. Be safe and take care of each other.